Welcome to Future Genetics News, February 2012. Legal paternity DNA tests. Do you really need one? Legal paternity DNA tests provide evidence of a paternal relationship between the putative father and child. The results provided are considered as legally admissible evidence to help 1. Demonstrate paternity in a civil court of law, 2. Settle matters in a divorce case, 3. Secure child custody, 4. Dismiss child support payments, and 5. Support an inheritance dispute. There are clear similarities between a legal and personal paternity DNA test. The analysis of the sample in the laboratory is similar between the legal and personal DNA tests. This involves the purification of DNA from the mouth swabs and the subsequent analysis of the DNA, which then allows for the determination of paternity. The personal paternity DNA test centers on the procedure of samples being collected by the paternity test participants themselves. The personal paternity DNA test involves the collection of mouth swabs by the person who is ordering the test, and in the case of discrete personal DNA tests, the person who has ordered the test would provide hair samples taken from one or more of the participants of the paternity test. These two personal paternity DNA tests serve an important purpose because they allow samples to be collected in the privacy of your home and also allow for the test purchaser to provide discrete samples. Furthermore, nobody else would need to know the result. The paternity DNA tests are not acceptable in courts because the authenticity of the results may be challenged by either party or the judge on the basis that the samples were collected and directly forwarded to the DNA testing company. Therefore, the other side in a legal dispute may argue that the result is not real because it cannot be proved that the submitted samples actually correspond to the alleged father or child in the legal case. Instead, it could be alleged that the samples belong to an unrelated person. In contrast to personal paternity DNA tests, given the power associated with legal paternity DNA tests, such as influencing legal rulings related to securing child custody, dismissing child support payments, and allowing the payment of a previously disputed inheritance, make it necessary to verify and prove the identity of the people who are sampled. This is ensured by following a chain of custody (COC). This involves the DNA test participants attending a doctor's surgery or clinic that has been authorized to collect samples from the group to be tested. The sample is collected by the authorized medical practitioner or nurse, and they are legally responsible to check and make copies of all the identification documents and also declare the authenticity of photos of the persons being tested. The samples and paperwork are then securely sent to the DNA testing company, who proceed to analyze the samples and then send the results back to the client. By following this COC approach, the opportunity of fraud, such as third-party framing to represent the alleged father, is greatly diminished. Thus, the results of the legal paternity DNA test are admissible in courts as evidence to prove or disprove paternity. In the UK, the courts will only accept DNA paternity test results from DNA companies that use laboratories that are accredited by Her Majesty's Ministry of Justice (MOJ). Only a select number of DNA testing companies are connected to government-accredited laboratories. Future Genetics provides legal paternity DNA test results that are admissible in a UK civil court of law and to the UK Home Office, and the test results are admissible as evidence under Section 20 of the Family Law Reform Act 1969. Interestingly, legal paternity DNA tests are purchased by couples for use in a non-court setting. A typical scenario is where neither party in a relationship has confidence that the other person will provide an accurate sample, or suspect that they may have their friend provide a sample on their or their child's behalf. In order to combat any potential fraudulent activity, individuals proceed to order a legal paternity DNA test for personal use only, rather than to use in a court setting. Incidentally, the same legal DNA test results can be submitted to a court at a later date if desired or appropriate. This report was aimed at providing information to readers so they better understand the key differences between personal and legal paternity DNA tests. Moreover, we hope this article will allow those considering a paternity test to selecting one which best suits their needs and circumstances. Please feel free to contact Future Genetics should you have any further questions.
About Future Genetics. Future Genetics are true leaders in DNA analysis and DNA testing. They empower the individual as well as families. The board of directors are all true expert scientists. We provide accurate and reliable DNA tests. Our DNA tests are private and confidential. Our testing laboratories are accredited by the UK Ministry of Justice and the results are accepted by the UK Law Courts and Home Office. Next steps, please rate this video and leave a comment. Subscribe and become a friend at the Future Genetics YouTube channel and receive alerts for news bulletins before anyone else. Please visit the Future Genetics website to read more on DNA testing. Follow us on Twitter, join us at Facebook.